Everyone told Jenifer that a poor girl could never become a doctor. But years later, the same people stood in line to meet the doctor who saved their lives. Jenifer lived with her mother in a tiny old house at the edge of a crowded town. They had very little money. The roof leaked whenever it rained, the walls were cracked, and there were days when dinner was nothing more than a simple bowl of rice. Her mother worked long hours cleaning houses. Every morning before the sun came up, she would quietly leave home with a small bag in her hand. "Study hard, Jenifer," her mother always said. "I cannot give you wealth, but I can give you my belief in you." Jenifer never forgot those words. She was a hard-working student. While other children spent their afternoons playing, Jenifer often sat at an old wooden table with secondhand textbooks. Some of her books were missing pages. Some had names of students she had never met written inside them, but Jenifer didn't care. To her, every page was a doorway to a better future. One afternoon, something happened that changed her life. Jenifer was walking home from school when she saw an ambulance stop near a crowded market. An elderly man had collapsed. People gathered around him, but nobody knew what to do. A doctor quickly arrived, examined the man, and began helping him. Jenifer watched carefully. She saw the fear on the family's faces slowly disappear when the doctor told them the man would be okay. That evening, Jenifer told her mother, "Mom, I want to become a doctor." Her mother looked at her quietly. Then she smiled. "If that is your dream, never let poverty decide whether you deserve it." From that day forward, Jenifer became even more determined. But her journey was not going to be easy. At school, some students laughed when she talked about becoming a doctor. "Doctors come from rich families," one boy said. "You don't even have proper books," another laughed. Jenifer felt hurt, but she didn't argue. She simply opened her notebook and continued studying. She understood something important. People could laugh at her dream, but they couldn't stop her from working for it. Her biggest challenge came when she reached high school. The subjects became harder. Biology, chemistry, mathematics, everything demanded more time and concentration. Sometimes, Jenifer studied late into the night while her mother slept nearby. The electricity often went out, so Jenifer would sit beside the window and study, under the weak light coming from the street. One night, her mother woke up and saw her still studying. "Jenifer, you need to sleep." "I will, Mom, just one more chapter." Her mother looked at her tired face. "You've already done enough." Jenifer smiled. "Maybe, but my dream hasn't." Her mother hugged her. Years passed. Jenifer graduated from high school with excellent grades. But there was one problem. Medical school was expensive. Her family could not afford it. For the first time, Jenifer wondered if her dream was slipping away. She sat outside their house that evening, staring at the sky. "Maybe they were right," she whispered. "Maybe this dream is too big for me." Her mother sat beside her. "Do you remember what you told me when you were little?" Jenifer looked at her. "I don't know. You said you wanted to become a doctor because you wanted to help people." Her mother held her hand. "Then don't give up just because the road is difficult." Those words gave Jenifer another reason to fight. The next morning, she began searching for scholarship. She visited offices, submitted applications, studied for entrance exams, and worked small jobs whenever she could. She faced rejection after rejection, but she kept going. Finally, one morning, an envelope arrived. Jenifer opened it with trembling hands. She had received a full scholarship to medical school. She couldn't speak. Her mother read the letter and started crying. Jenifer hugged her tightly. "We did it, Mom." Her mother smiled through her tears. "No, Jenifer, you did it." But the hardest chapter of her journey was only beginning. Medical school was nothing like Jenifer imagined. The classes were difficult. The workload was enormous. Many students came from wealthy families and had every resource they needed. Jenifer had only determination. She continued living simply and carefully managed every dollar from her scholarship. She studied during the day and worked part-time in the evenings. Sometimes she returned to her small room completely exhausted. But every time she wanted to quit, she remembered her mother. She remembered the leaking roof. She remembered the empty dinner plates. And she remembered the elderly man who had inspired her dream. So she kept going. During her second year, Jenifer failed an important exam. It was the first major academic failure of her life. She stared at the result for a long time. Failed. One word. It felt like the end of everything. Some classmates tried to comfort her. Others quietly suggested that medicine might not be for her. That night, Jenifer cried. She wondered whether all her sacrifices had been pointless. The next morning, she walked into the library. She opened her textbook, and she started again. She didn't pretend the failure hadn't happened. Instead, she studied her mistakes. She identified every topic she had misunderstood. Then she created a new study schedule. Every day, she worked on her weaknesses. Months later, she took the exam again. This time, she passed with one of the highest scores in her class. Her professor congratulated her. "You learned something more valuable than medicine from that failure," he said. "What?" Jenifer asked. "How to get back up." Those words stayed with her. During her final years of medical school, Jenifer became known for something unusual. She wasn't the smartest student in every class. She wasn't the richest. She wasn't the most naturally talented. But she was the student who never stopped trying. If she didn't understand something, she asked questions. If she made a mistake, she corrected it. If she failed, she tried again. Eventually, graduation day arrived. Jenifer stood on the stage wearing her medical gown. She looked into the audience. Her mother was sitting in the front row. She was wearing a simple dress and holding a small bouquet of flowers. When Jenifer received her medical degree, tears filled her eyes. She walked toward her mother. Her mother hugged her tightly. "You kept your promise," her mother whispered. Jenifer smiled. "No, Mom, you kept yours." After graduation, Jenifer began working at a hospital. At first, nobody knew her story. They only knew her as a young doctor who worked extremely hard. She arrived early. She listened carefully to patients. She treated everyone with respect, whether they were wealthy or poor. One day, an elderly woman arrived at the hospital. She was frightened and confused. Other doctors were busy with emergencies, so Jenifer sat beside her. "Don't worry," Jenifer said gently. "I'm here." The woman looked at her. "You remind me of my daughter." Jenifer smiled. "My mother taught me that everyone deserves kindness." Jenifer carefully helped the woman receive the treatment she needed. The woman later told everyone about the young doctor, who had treated her with compassion. Word began spreading. Jenifer wasn't just a skilled doctor. She genuinely cared about people. Soon, patients began requesting her. Her reputation grew, but Jenifer never forgot where she came from. Whenever she saw a poor family struggling to pay for treatment, she remembered her own childhood. She began volunteering at free medical camps. She traveled to poor neighborhoods and provided basic medical care to people who couldn't easily afford it. Then, something unexpected happened. A television journalist heard about her work. Years later, Jenifer had become one of the most respected doctors in her region. She had written medical research papers, helped thousands of patients, and received several awards. People called her a brilliant doctor. News channels called her an inspiration. Young students called her a role model. But Jenifer still remembered the little girl she used to be. One day, she returned to her old neighborhood. She stood in front of the tiny house where she had grown up. The roof was still old. The walls were still cracked. But for Jenifer, the house was more beautiful than any mansion. It contained her childhood memories, her first textbooks, her mother's sacrifices, her first dream, and the nights when she almost gave up. She walked inside. Her mother was sitting near the old wooden table. Jenifer looked at it and smiled. "This is where I studied." Her mother laughed. "You studied there because there was nowhere else to sit." Jenifer smiled. "And that table helped me become a doctor." Her mother looked at her proudly. "No, my daughter. Your determination did." Jenifer then made a decision. She wanted to help other children like herself. She used her success to create a scholarship program for students from poor families who dreamed of becoming doctors, nurses, teachers, and engineers. Her first scholarship went to a young girl named Maya. Maya reminded Jenifer of herself. She was intelligent, hardworking, and came from a poor family. When Maya received the scholarship, she couldn't believe it. "Why are you helping me?" she asked. Jenifer smiled. "Because someone once believed in me when I had nothing." Maya looked at her with tears in her eyes. "I promise I won't waste this opportunity." Jenifer placed a hand on her shoulder. "I know you won't." Years later, Maya became a doctor too. And she wasn't the only one. Jenifer's scholarship program helped hundreds of students continue their education. Her story became bigger than her own success. She had started as a poor girl who dreamed of becoming a doctor. Now she was helping an entire generation dream bigger. One evening, Jenifer stood outside the hospital after a long day. The sun was setting. She watched patients leaving with their families. She smiled. She thought about everything that had happened. The poverty, the laughter, the rejection, the failed exam, the sleepless nights, the scholarship, medical school, her first patient, her mother's sacrifices, the awards, the fame. She realized that success had never been about proving people wrong. It had been about becoming the person she wanted to be. Jenifer looked toward the sky and whispered, "Thank you, Mom." Her mother was standing beside her. "What for?" "For never allowing me to give up on myself." Her mother smiled. "I only reminded you of what was already inside you." Jenifer hugged her, and at that moment she understood the real meaning of her journey. She hadn't become successful because life was easy. She became successful because every time life became difficult, she chose to continue. Her poverty was real, but it was never her identity. Her failures were real, but they were never her ending. Her dream was difficult, but she never stopped walking toward it. Years ago, people had looked at Jenifer and seen a poor girl. Today, the world saw a famous doctor. But Jenifer knew the truth. The most important transformation wasn't from poor to successful. It was from doubt to belief, from fear to courage, from "I can't" to "I will try again." And that is why her story inspired millions. Because Jenifer's journey proved one powerful lesson. Your starting point does not decide your destination. You may start with nothing. You may face rejection. People may laugh at your dreams. You may fail. You may have fewer opportunities than others. But if you keep learning, keep working, and keep moving forward, your circumstances don't have to remain your future. Jenifer started with a broken table and a borrowed textbook. She ended with a medical degree, a respected career, and a mission to change lives. Her story reminds us: dream big, work hard, stay patient, and never let your current situation convince you that your future is impossible.